The Warriors business has been eroding its goodwill after being propped up by NRL COVID cash, says our Playing the Ball columnist Martin Devlin. Martin, what do you mean by this?
Well, hello, lovely to see you. And look, can I just say that here we are talking about the Warriors at a time when the whole country's screaming about the All Blacks. But, it actually does tie in because this is really convenient for the Warriors because this is a team that is on the skids. This is a team going absolutely nowhere. And this is a club that is telling us that everything is going to get better in the future. And rather than have the kind of scrutiny on them that they probably deserve at the moment, everything is deflected away towards the All Blacks. So despite the fact they lost again on the weekend, the Warriors, that's 8 losses, 9 games. The season is well over for them. Everyone's kind of looking the other way at the moment. What I mean by it is that simply that I believe that this club and its current ownership and management has been very complacent. I want to make it perfectly clear, and I say this in the column as well, that this isn't anything personal. I have nothing personal up against or down or against these people. I'm looking at it purely from a position of a Warriors fan, and I believe that they take their fans for granted, that they just expect people to turn up. They expect people to love this club. They expect people to just be spoon-fed the rubbish that they get fed without asking questions, without demanding answers, and that they're going to keep coming back to the shop and buying a T-shirt and a new pair of shoes every single season. Well, maybe that worked once in the past when there was only one shop in High Street, but now there's malls of shops everywhere and people have a heck of a lot of choice. And I actually believe, look, the thing with goodwill to me, from what I studied at university and so forth as accounting and everything else, is that it's an intangible asset. It's very difficult always to pinpoint and put an exact price on it, but it's also a very important asset because what it is it's a feel-good factor about your business. And you don't just get handed this on a plate. You can sell it in a balance sheet, but it's been worked upon and has been earned over a period of time. And then you've got to keep earning it. And I don't believe the Warriors are doing that at the moment. They're not doing enough, I don't believe, to earn fans' respect and also earn the fans' continuing support. And that means financial support.
You say there's been constant PR schmooze from CEO Cam George that the future is looking positive, but the club's in as a shambolic a state as it's ever been. Can you tell us some more about this?
Yeah, look, I mean, what is sport about? Professional sport is about one thing, and that is winning. Now, you can tidy it up and glitter it up and tie a bow around it and put a pretty dress on it as much as you want. Sport is about winning. It's not just about winning. It's about winning now. It's about winning today. It's not about winning next season or the season after that. And what the Warriors are telling us, the last press conference we went to, Cameron George, the CEO, said, as soon as pre-season starts, that's when the club is winning. Well, I'm sorry, there's 7 or 8 games of this season left to go. So what, have you written that off already? If that's the case, then why would you expect or ask fans to turn up for the next 3 home games? If you've written the season off already, well, then why should we bother? You look at what's happening to the All Blacks. People aren't talking about, the All Blacks might be good in 18 months' time. They're talking about the fact the All Blacks are no good right now. American sport, I use always as a model always, is that, you have to win this weekend. That's what your job is about. It's about getting out there and doing it today. You can't open a shop and say, hey, look, in 18 months' time, we're going to have this great sale and people are going to come in. Well, you might be out of business by then. It's actually, rather than telling us about what might happen in the future and also saying that you're going to be winning in 2 years' time, who's to say you're going to be winning in 2 years' time? Who's to say these players that they bought, potential players, are actually going to be, great NRL players? You've actually got to give the people who are paying their money today something today. And that's what I feel whether, there's some really valid questions that have been asked and haven't been provided answers to. The thing with sport is that most sport is press release rewriting in this country. I don't think there is any such thing as sports journalism in New Zealand. What it is actually most people, if you go to any of these press conferences and the Zoom press conferences I've been on, the thing that's really surprised me is that the people that are there might as well just get handed an A4 piece of paper and they just rewrite those quotes. Everyone just asks the most schmoozy, soft questions. No one's actually prepared to say, hang on a second, that jigsaw bit doesn't fit with that jigsaw bit. And, there was a couple of very uncomfortable instances in the last couple of weeks where I was stupid enough to do that. I mean, I've never been to a press conference before. I'm not a journalist. So rather than sit there and ask a schmaltzy question, I kind of acted like I was doing an interview, which is, putting somebody on the spot, getting a little bit of to and fro going, getting a little bit of confrontation going to see, what their actual emotional reaction is. Because this is what I believe is the truth. You can sit there and you can be trained, like every politician is, to look down the barrel of a camera and give a cheesy answer. But when you see the person's face, their facial expressions, their body language and everything else, it's the things they don't say in politics that give you the impression of what the person's actually talking about or you believe. And, you know, for the CEO to sit there at these press conferences and say, I'm not answering that question. Well, you know, how can you expect me to be a loyal customer in your shop if you treat me with that much disrespect? And this is what I mean. You know, the goodwill is earned, and goodwill has to be constantly earned. And if you're sitting there and prepared to look at your fans and say, no, you don't deserve that answer, just buy your tickets and come along. Well, how long is that going to last? And this is really the point of what I'm trying to say in the column. As I say, I've got nothing against the owner or the CEO, but I do believe that they are complacent and they are lazy in their attitude towards the fans. The paying fan is what keeps them alive. And now they don't have the COVID check from the NRL. Now they have to come back here, earn money, earn sponsors, earn respect, earn people coming through the gate. Look, they had 20-something thousand people against West Tigers there in the homecoming match. They got 3 more matches at home. They've won 1 out of their last 9 matches. They go away to the Raiders. That's a loss. They then get Melbourne Storm at home. That is a definite loss. What, 1 in 11? They got 2 more home matches after that. Why would you buy a ticket? You tell me why you would buy a ticket and go out there and spend your money.
Okay, well, what needs to be done?
Well, what I think needs to be done is just some basic honesty, is that, you know, we're all adults. We can handle the truth. Even though Jack Nicholson told us in that movie, A Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth. Of course we can. There's been some really big issues. Like, for example, they lost Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, who was their marquee star player. Promised him a whole lot of squad additions and that this was a team going to a premiership. Never happened. They've now lost Reece Walsh, who was their poster boy and marquee player. One of the things that I found really disingenuous of recent times is that they used Walsh on a poster to sell that last home game. You know, here he is. This is the and for 8 weeks, they've been negotiating with him to leave. Now, that's quite toady at best. It's a con job at worst. And I think that the fans deserve better than that. They deserve, why has this guy been allowed to leave? He broke up with his girlfriend. So what? He signed a 4-year deal. We all have relationship breakups. Get over it. You're going back to Australia every 2 weeks. You signed a contract. There's your commitment. You're our guy. Stay and play. But instead, he won't answer any of these questions. Instead, he accuses the person who's asking them of having an agenda. So, you know, I just think it comes down to simple honesty. If I walk into your shop and I buy a cotton T-shirt and it falls apart on me the next day, and I come back, well, no, you bought that. You don't have a right to ask me what the heck the material was used or where I got it. Would I come back to your shop and buy another one? That's all I'm saying.
Martin, thank you very much for your time.